All right, so I want to talk about now our content calendar. So in the content calendar, you can see up here at the top, I have it set for, um, well, right now it still says October or September since it just changed October. Let's go ahead and change that real quick here. So everybody knows which calendar this is for. Okay, so we're on the October content calendar. Over here on the left, the first column here is just really going to give some daily goals, and that's just some kind of the goals that we like to shoot for each writer. Um, right now, they have different contracts, so some are producing a lot of content, some are producing just a little bit of contract content. So this doesn't really apply to everybody. The schedule with the list of tags and categories. That really just tells you the different tags that I'm using. In this case, I'm using tags to represent the categories in WordPress, and the template outlines that the writers are using to write the article. So in this case, tag 1 is transactional reviews, 2 how-to guides or informational, educational type of post, and then 3 just resources. The categories that I'm putting on the back, and these are all going to be like on the back of these cards over here that you'll see for each of the articles. So we have different categories that we write about for the company, and that's sales and marketing, education, operations management, IT security, information technology, and business administration and management. So those are the different tags and categories that you might see on the back of the cards while you're working. And then this one here is just the template that I use for every card that is created. And this way it has the necessary attachments that the writers might need, or at least the majority of them that are not specific to each article but more general. In the case of, the writers are using a persona to write about the company and about myself, since the website is kevinscalero.com. That is my website, and that is for the business website. So the writers need to know really about the company history and about me as much as they can, so that when they're writing the conclusion of the articles, with the experience and their wrap up and their point of view, they can write it as a ghostwriter would write, to symbolize that, if I was writing the article. And so I put those basic things here, like the company SOP, the standard operating procedures, and the article checklist, which they'll need for each of the articles that they write. In addition, once the card is actually created, I'll add another attachment. I'll add the content brief, and I will add any other thing that applies to that article specifically. In the top section here in the description, I'll generally fill this out. Sometimes I don't fill it out completely because it's redundant to the information in the content brief. This was kind of the content brief that I was using before I started using the Google Doc content brief. So anyways, if we needed to create new ones, we could always go here to this, make a copy by clicking on the copy button, give it the title that you want to give it, what board do you want to add it to. In this case, it's the same board. And then what list do you want to add it to. If you want to add it to the planned monthly column that, for instance, the writer will look into to find an article to write, then we'll put it there. And if you wanted to list it at a specific position inside of that column, you could. So that's really just how you use the templates. And then the next one here is the actual planned column. So this is everything that we're going to put in to the month for the writers to work on. So right now this is the leftover list from September. Um, I haven't added the new cards for the month of October yet. I like to add them just a few at a time because they do have access to the entire list here of our articles for the entire month if I was to put the whole month in here. And if they stop working for us tomorrow, then they have all of our information on what we're doing for the month. So I don't like to feed too much in here at one time. Generally, just a week's worth of articles at a time. So as you can see here, in the first column, we have one article left that hasn't been started yet. And then the MVPs, remember we're writing minimum viable products. So these are the drafts that are in progress, that are currently being written or are in the editing phases. Maybe they've already been reviewed and they need some work, and I sent them back to the writer to complete. If we run into any issues, technical issues where something isn't working right and the article cannot move forward, maybe there's some type of roadblock, then we'll put it into this section here, and then just notify me so that I can help if you're not able to figure it out, and help the writer to get past that roadblock. Then involve me and let me know, and I can get involved and help. The edit and review, once the writer is finished writing their article, they will drag the card over here and drop it into the edit and review. I have a watch on this, so I get a notification automatically that says the writer put it into that column and then it's ready for edit and review. And I recommend you do the same thing. That way you don't have to watch each individual card unless you really want to. So for instance, you're involved with editing and review. So this column and the publishing column are very specific to your job. So what you'll want to do is, if you wanted to watch the entire column, you could just click on here and where did I add the watch from? I believe it was. I don't remember exactly. There, right here. Watch. Just check that and you can watch everything into that column. If you want to watch specific articles, you can just select the article and you can choose the watch button, and you will get notifications then every time something changes with this card. If anybody adds labels, check marks, whatnot, you'll get a notification. Or if they add any activity comments down here, you'll get those notifications as well. So I encourage you to put all of your comments into Neuron Writer, and then in this category, the writers do not get a notification when you add comments. It only works the other way around. If they put comments, you get notifications, but if you put comments, they do not get notifications. And the reason is I have not added them as a team member because, again, it exposes the entire list of months worth of work that's coming in the future. And since they are freelancers and they could leave any day, we don't want to give them all of the information. So really what I like to do is put the comments into Neuron, and then I'll put a little note here and just says, this article has been reviewed and needs some attention. Please check Neuron Writer and in the comment section. And then that'll notify them of the comment, and they'll go to Neuron Writer and they'll check the comments there. If there's small little comments and you didn't put them in Neuron Writer, you could also put them here on the activity card, and this will keep them specifically for this specific article, and it'll help keep communication streamlined into one location or minimal 2 locations. You can also add your name here as a member of the card, and that will then add your information to the card, kind of as you're like the owner of that card, then to be able to follow it through the production pipeline. Um, so where that comes into play is if you watched it all the way from the beginning stage here, you would see it as it progressed all the way through the pipeline. Again, that may be too many emails and unnecessary for you. So I don't know if you want to do that or not, but you can see the little symbol here. Once a writer has put their name as a member, then that means they're the owner of that card. They're working on that card, and you'll know who exactly is working on the articles, so you can address them accordingly by their name. And then once you've edited the article, which we just did in Neuron Writer in the last video, we can now go to that card. Let's just, this card, actually, I believe it's in the editing phase right now. Oh no, he did put it down here, didn't he? I think I saw it in the list, but if not, I don't see it now. Let's just pretend it needed some editing. In this case, we'll use one of my articles here that I wrote, and click on that, and you'll see here that it has the pending editing label added to it, and that just really means, you know, that's for the writer to know, hey, there's some work that needs to be done on this. It was rejected. Back to you to make some edits. And again, you can put it down in the activity section what those edits need to be. You can also add the tag, which I recommend you do, so everybody knows where the article is in the production phase. And then once you've added that editing, that just informs everybody that okay, that needs some work, and then you can move it back to the column for in progress, and then the writers will get a notification. It actually puts an in progress tag on it automatically to allow everybody to know that it's being worked on. And then once it comes back, once the editing is finished, they'll come back over to this category, and then we can re-edit the article, or review, I should say, the article. Make sure all of the edits were completed that we added to it. And then if it is, we can then simply remove the pending editing label by going into labels, unchecking it, and it'll disappear. And then we can simply just move it into the published column as being completed. And then of course we'll need to publish it in WordPress first before we move it into that column. So in this case, this label was not finished yet, so I'm going to put that pending editing label back on it, so that I remember that it is in editing, and I'm going to move it and leave it over here in this column. And that's it really. So for the content calendar, we're going to go through and just move cards through the production line until they're finished. And like I said, once they get to this stage here and the edit and review, if there's no edits left to do on it, we've already marked it as done and MVP approved in Neuron. Then the next stage is to just take it into WordPress and publish the article from there.